Hello my dear friends, welcome back to English Legend. Today we will learn English through the history of the real story of Adolf Hitler. How one man changed history. This story will help you improve your English while learning something important from the past. We will learn step by step, in simple and clear English like a story. Please relax, listen carefully, and enjoy learning English through history. Today's story is about a man who had a very strong influence on the world. His name was Adolf Hitler. He changed history in a very dark and painful way. This is not a story to praise him. This is a story to understand how one person's ideas, choices, and actions can affect millions of lives. History teaches us lessons and we must learn from them. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1889, in a small town called Braunau am Inn in Austria. At that time, Austria was part of a large empire called Austria-Hungary. Hitler was born into a simple family. His father, Alois Hitler, was a strict man. He worked as a government officer. His mother, Clara Hitler, was kind and caring. Adolf was very close to his mother and loved her deeply. As a child, Adolf Hitler was not very special. He was not a good student. He did not enjoy school. He often argued with his teachers and did not like rules. He wanted to become an artist. He loved drawing and painting. But his father wanted him to become a government officer just like him. This created many problems in the family. Adolf felt angry and misunderstood. When Adolf was still young, his father died. Later, his mother also became very sick and died when Adolf was only 18 years old. This was a very sad moment in his life. After her death, Adolf felt lonely and lost. He moved to Vienna, the capital city of Austria, to follow his dream of becoming an artist. In Vienna, Adolf tried to enter an art school. He applied to the Academy of Fine Arts, but he failed the entrance exam. Not once but twice. This failure hurt him deeply. He felt rejected and angry. Instead of improving himself, he began to blame others for his problems. He lived a very poor life. Sometimes he had no home. Sometimes he had no food. He sold small paintings to survive. During this time, Adolf Hitler began to develop very dangerous ideas. Vienna was a city with people from many cultures, religions, and backgrounds. Instead of learning to live with others, he started to believe that some people were better than others. He listened to hateful speeches and read extreme books. Slowly, hate grew inside his mind. In 1913, Adolf Hitler moved to Germany. 1 year later, World War I began. This war changed his life completely. Hitler joined the German army as a soldier. For the first time, he felt a sense of purpose. He felt proud to serve Germany. He followed orders, lived a simple life, and felt important. During the war, Hitler was brave as a soldier. He was injured and also temporarily blinded by gas during one attack. Germany fought hard in the war, but in 1918 Germany lost. This loss shocked Hitler. He felt angry and ashamed. He believed that Germany was treated unfairly by other countries. Many Germans felt the same pain and anger. After the war, Germany was in a very bad condition. The economy was weak. Many people had no jobs. Money lost its value. People were hungry and hopeless. The government was unstable. This was a dangerous time because people were looking for someone to blame and someone to follow. Adolf Hitler stayed in the army for a short time after the war. He was asked to watch political groups that were against the government. One day, he attended a meeting of a small political party. It was later called the Nazi Party. Hitler liked the ideas of this group. He liked to speak and he was very good at it. He spoke with emotion and strong words. People listened to him. Soon Adolf Hitler became the leader of the Nazi Party. He promised to make Germany strong again. He promised jobs, pride, and power. He used simple words, loud speeches, and strong emotions. Many people believed him because they were desperate and angry. They wanted hope even if it was false hope. Hitler blamed many groups for Germany's problems. This was very dangerous. Instead of solving real problems, he spread hate. Hate can spread very fast, especially in hard times. Slowly, the Nazi Party became stronger. In 1923, Hitler tried to take power by force in an event called the Beer Hall Putsch. It failed. He was arrested and sent to prison. This could have been the end of his story. But history took another turn. In prison, Hitler wrote a book called Mein Kampf, which means My Struggle. In this book, he shared his ideas and plans. Many of these ideas were full of hate and anger. After some time, he was released from prison. He decided to take power through legal ways, not force. This was the beginning of his rise to power. Germany was still suffering. People were still searching for hope. Hitler used this situation to grow stronger. He spoke again and again, promising a better future. This part of the story teaches us an important lesson. A difficult childhood, failure, and pain do not excuse hate. When people choose anger instead of understanding, they can hurt the world. History shows us how dangerous ideas can grow when people stop thinking carefully. As we end this part of the story, remember that learning history helps us understand the present. Learning English through stories makes learning easier and more meaningful. Keep learning, keep listening, and keep growing, because knowledge gives us light in dark times. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back again to English Legend. In the last part, we learned about Adolf Hitler's early life, his failures, and how he slowly entered politics. Now, in this second part, we will learn how Adolf Hitler rose to power and became the leader of Germany. This part of history is very important because it shows how words, fear, and false promises can change a whole nation. Please listen calmly and learn step by step. After Adolf Hitler came out of prison, Germany was still in deep trouble. The country was poor. Many people had no jobs. Families were hungry. Old money became almost useless. People felt ashamed and angry because Germany had lost World War I. They felt their country was broken. At this time, people were looking for someone who could give them hope and confidence. Adolf Hitler understood this very well. He knew how to speak to people's emotions. Hitler decided to grow his Nazi party slowly and legally. He traveled across Germany and gave powerful speeches. He used simple language. He spoke loudly and with strong emotion. He promised to make Germany strong again. He promised jobs, food, and pride. He blamed Germany's problems on other groups and on the weak government. Many people believed him because they were desperate. When people are afraid, they often follow anyone who promises safety. In 1929, a very big economic problem happened in the world. It is called the Great Depression. Many banks closed. Many businesses failed. Millions of people lost their jobs. Germany suffered more than many other countries. This crisis helped Hitler and the Nazi Party grow even faster. People felt the government could not help them. Hitler looked strong and confident, so people started trusting him more. The Nazi Party became more popular in elections. More people voted for them. By 1932, the Nazi Party became the largest political party in Germany, but Hitler was still not the leader of the country. Germany had a president named Paul von Hindenburg. At first, Hindenburg did not trust Hitler. But other politicians believed they could control Hitler and use him for their own benefit. This was a very big mistake. In January 1933, Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. This was a legal position, but it gave him great power. Many people did not realize how dangerous this moment was. They believed Hitler would follow the rules of democracy, but Hitler had different plans. Soon after Hitler became Chancellor, a strange and terrible event happened. The German parliament building called the Reichstag caught fire. Hitler blamed his enemies for this fire. He said the country was in danger. He said Germany needed strong control to stay safe. Fear spread quickly among the people. Using fear as a weapon, Hitler asked for special powers. He said these powers were only temporary. The government passed a law called the Enabling Act. This law gave Hitler the power to make laws without asking the parliament. This was the moment when democracy in Germany truly ended. Step by step, Hitler turned Germany into a dictatorship. Once Hitler had full power, he moved very fast. He banned other political parties. He closed newspapers that spoke against him. He arrested people who did not agree with him. Fear became a part of daily life. People were afraid to speak. Many stayed silent to protect themselves and their families. Hitler also controlled education and media. Schools taught children to follow him and his ideas. Radios, newspapers, and posters showed him as a hero. People heard the same message again and again. When people hear one idea many times, they may start believing it, even if it is wrong. This is how propaganda works. In 1934, President Hindenburg died. After his death, Hitler took full control. He combined the role of president and chancellor and called himself Führer, which means leader. Soldiers and officials had to promise loyalty to him personally, not to the country or the law. From this moment, Adolf Hitler was the absolute ruler of Germany. Many Germans supported him at first. They saw new roads, new buildings, and more jobs. The economy looked better on the surface. But this progress had a dark side. It was built on fear, lies, and hate. Hitler continued to blame certain groups for all problems. This hatred slowly turned into open cruelty. This part of history teaches us a powerful lesson. A leader who uses fear and anger can easily control people. Democracy does not end in one day. It ends slowly when people stop asking questions and stop protecting freedom. Adolf Hitler did not take power with force at first. He used words, promises, and fear. As we pause here, remember that history is not just about the past. It is a mirror for the present and the future. Learning English through such stories helps us understand both language and life. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep your mind open. Because true strength comes from knowledge and understanding. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to English Legend. In the last part, we learned how Adolf Hitler rose to power and became the ruler of Germany. Now, in this third part, we will learn about the most painful time in this story. We will talk about war, human suffering, and how Hitler's actions brought great destruction to the world. Please remember, we are learning history to understand its lessons, not to repeat its mistakes. After Adolf Hitler gained full control of Germany, he began to change the country very fast. He believed Germany should be strong, powerful, and feared. He wanted to expand German land and influence. He said Germany needed more space to live and grow. These ideas were dangerous, but many people supported him because they believed he was making Germany proud again. Hitler also built a very strong army. He trained soldiers, made new weapons, and prepared for war. This was against the rules set after World War I, but he ignored those rules. Other countries watched closely, but many did nothing at first. They hoped peace would remain. Sadly, this silence gave Hitler more confidence. In 1939, Adolf Hitler made a decision that changed the world. Germany invaded Poland. This attack shocked Europe. Soon after, Britain and France declared war on Germany. This was the beginning of World War II. It became the largest and most destructive war in human history. First, Germany seemed very strong. Hitler's army moved quickly and took control of many countries. Germany invaded places like France, Norway, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Many people believed Hitler could not be stopped. His power and control grew larger and larger. But war does not only destroy buildings and cities. War destroys human lives and families. Millions of soldiers were sent to fight. Many never returned home. Families waited for letters that never came. Cities were bombed. Homes were destroyed. Fear and pain became part of daily life for many people across Europe. During this time, Hitler's most terrible actions also became clearer. He believed in the false idea that some people were better than others. He especially hated Jewish people and some other groups. This hatred led to one of the darkest chapters in human history, called the Holocaust. The Holocaust was a time of extreme cruelty and injustice. Millions of innocent people were taken from their homes. They were treated as if they were not human. Families were separated. Many people were forced to live in very harsh conditions. Many lost their lives simply because of who they were. This was not war between armies. This was hatred against innocent people. It is very important to remember that these people did nothing wrong. They were teachers, workers, parents, children, and neighbors. Hate and lies took away their basic human rights. This part of history shows us how dangerous it is when people stop seeing others as human beings. While this was happening, the war continued to grow. In 1941, Hitler made another big mistake. He attacked the Soviet Union. This opened a new and very large front in the war. The fighting was long and brutal. German soldiers were not prepared for the cold winter and strong resistance. Many soldiers suffered greatly. In the same year, Japan, an ally of Germany, attacked Pearl Harbor, a U.S. military base. After this, the United States entered the war. This changed the balance of power. Now, Germany was fighting many strong enemies at the same time. Slowly, Hitler's power began to weaken. The German army started losing important battles. Cities in Germany were heavily bombed. People who once believed strongly in Hitler began to lose hope. Food became scarce. Fear returned, but this time it was fear of defeat. By 1944, Allied forces landed in France in a major attack known as D-Day. They pushed the German army back step by step. On the eastern side, the Soviet army moved closer to Germany. The war was coming to an end, but the cost was terrible. Millions of lives had already been lost. In 1945, Allied forces entered Germany. Berlin, the capital city, was surrounded. Adolf Hitler hid in an underground bunker. He refused to accept defeat. But reality could not be changed. Germany had lost the war. In April 1945, Adolf Hitler died. Shortly after, Germany officially surrendered. World War II ended in Europe. The world was left with deep wounds. Cities were destroyed. Families were broken. Millions of lives were gone forever. After the war, the truth about Hitler's actions became fully known. The world saw the full horror of hatred and extreme power. Many people ask the same question. How could this happen? The answer is complex, but one thing is clear. When people stop questioning leaders, when hate replaces kindness, and when power is more important than humanity, terrible things can happen. This part of the story teaches us a very strong lesson. Education, understanding, and empathy are very important. History shows us that silence in front of injustice can be dangerous. We must always remember that every human life has value. As we end this part, take a moment to reflect. Learning history helps us become better people. Learning English through such stories helps us understand the world more deeply. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep choosing understanding over hate, because knowledge helps build a more peaceful future. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to English Legend. In the previous parts, we learned about Adolf Hitler's early life, his rise to power, and the terrible war and suffering that followed. Now, in this final part, we will look at what happened after the war and, most importantly, what lessons history teaches us. This part is about understanding, reflection, and learning from the past in a calm and thoughtful way. After World War II ended in 1945, the world was very different. Many cities were destroyed. Millions of people had lost their homes, families, and hope. Countries needed to rebuild not only buildings, but also trust and peace. Germany was divided and occupied by other countries. The people of Germany had to face the truth of what had happened in their name. The world slowly learned the full story of Adolf Hitler's rule. The lies, the hate, and the abuse of power became clear. Many people were shocked and ashamed. Many asked how such terrible events could happen in a modern world. This question is very important, because it helps us understand how history repeats itself when lessons are forgotten. After the war, international courts were created to judge crimes committed during the conflict. Leaders and officials who had followed Hitler's orders were held responsible. This showed the world that no one should be above the law. Justice may be slow, but it is necessary for healing. New international organizations were also formed to protect peace and human rights. Countries realized that cooperation was better than conflict. The idea was simple but powerful. If people talk and work together, they can avoid war. This hope became the foundation for a more peaceful world. Germany itself went through a long process of learning and change. Schools began to teach the true history of Hitler and the war. Museums and memorials were built to remember the victims. Remembering is painful, but forgetting is dangerous. By remembering the past, people try to make sure it never happens again. One of the most important lessons from Adolf Hitler's story is the danger of blind obedience. Many people followed him without asking questions. They trusted his words and ignored his actions. History teaches us that a leader should never be followed without thinking. A strong society needs people who ask questions, think critically, and care about others. Another important lesson is the power of words. Hitler did not start with violence. He started with speeches. He used simple words to spread fear and anger. Words can heal, but words can also hurt. This is why education and media are so important. When people learn to think clearly, lies lose their power. This story also teaches us about responsibility. It is easy to blame one man for everything. Adolf Hitler played a central role, but many others helped him. Some were silent. Some were afraid. Some agreed. History reminds us that silence can also be a choice. Choosing to stay silent when others are suffering can allow injustice to grow. At the same time, history also shows courage and kindness. There were people who helped others even when it was dangerous. There were people who chose humanity over fear. These stories remind us that even in dark times, goodness can exist. Learning about Adolf Hitler is not about fear. It is about awareness. When we understand how hate grows, we can stop it early. When we understand how power can be misused, we can protect freedom. History is like a teacher. It does not shout, but it shows us examples. For English learners, history is also a powerful tool. Stories help us remember words and ideas more easily. When we learn English through real stories, the language feels alive. We learn not only grammar and vocabulary, but also values and meaning. As you listen to this story, you are doing more than learning English. You are training your mind to understand the world. You are learning to connect language with life. This makes learning deeper and more enjoyable. Adolf Hitler's story is a reminder that one person can change history, but not always in a good way. It also reminds us that millions of small choices by ordinary people matter. Kindness, understanding, and learning can shape a better future. As we reach the end of this series, take a moment to reflect quietly. History is not only about the past. It is about today and tomorrow. When we learn from stories, we grow wiser. When we learn English through stories, learning becomes meaningful. Keep learning, keep listening, and keep believing that knowledge, compassion, and understanding can guide us toward a brighter and more peaceful world.